Slaanesh is certainly one of those factions, if you execute him well and have the right build, definitely can be quite strong, even against some of the strongest in the game, like, say, the Empire. This Empire build is quite snipey, though, so Azazel's immediately going to have to start running for his life here, getting Spirit Leeched at long range by Elspeth. We've also got the Regiment of Renown. No, actually, just a regular Luminarch, so no net there. We've got some Spearmen here, including that Regiment of Renown. Ironside's a little bit of an odd pick in this matchup, as are Demigryph Halberds to a degree. Actually, I understand that. Flagellant's definitely very solid in this matchup. Decent DPS. The Unbreakable makes them, you know, immune to leadership shenanigans, and just overall solid unit. Odd build for the Empire, for sure. I'll talk more about that later, but I really like the build for Slaanesh. Wide with Devoted Marauders, supported by Fiends. Definitely the best unit on Slaanesh's roster. Fiends super strong. We've got Furies as well. Very solid unit supporting the flanks here. We've got some Hellstriders for some kind of anti-large. They're not great right now, but they're okay, especially when combined with Seekers. This sort of scary mobility squad, quite a bit of resources on each side that can potentially come in and work together to try and overwhelm something like Empire Knights. Not that there are any here. In fact, the only mobility for the Empire is Elspeth plus those Demigryph Knights, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Elspeth gonna pull up here. Basically just zone Azazel away. You can see here, Joyboy, the submitter of this replay, just zoning out those units completely. Meanwhile, the Fiends charging into the Flagellants, getting a pretty good engagement initially, but Flagellants, of course, being unbreakable and decent DPS, actually trade all right here. It's not gonna be the worst. Fiends immediately overrunning. All they really have to overrun is Spears, and I guess these Ironsides being taken over by Furies quite quickly is one of the reasons why I'm not really the biggest fan of Ironsides here. I think probably Free Company Militia are the best bet for missile units against Slaanesh. You can go a lot wider, and you don't really need the AP for anything important, like maybe Knights, but I don't think you have other tools that can deal with them well enough. And yeah, the volume of fire and the Free Company's melee stats means they can hold up okay. They definitely lose to a lot of Slaanesh units, but just being able to saturate high volume of non-AP fire could be very good against these, like, Furies, Seekers, Fiends, all the important units you want to be killing. Get countered by those Free Company, especially with something like a Flaming Sword to support them. But here, this Empire build gets rushed down pretty quickly. The Luminarch is still online and taking some shots. Azazel getting seriously injured by those Sunlight Blasts there. Also got some Fiends here momentarily, sort of on pause mode, as a bunch of these Slaanesh units actually are trying to pull back for some second engagements, try to pull this Empire position out of position. Nice use of the Rampage, though. Pavane of Slaanesh, even though the damage isn't going to be amazing against the Luminarch, just to keep it Rampage, keep it from blasting Azazel out of the sky here, so he can actually get close and try and operate it a little bit, get some value. See here, Fiends lurking. Again, Seekers kind of pulled back right now. Possible this replay is desyncing somewhat, but we'll continue to see. Yeah, maybe not, actually. Maybe these units are just sort of flying idly, but anyway, yeah, a little bit of fast forward there just to see. I don't know. We'll kind of watch this replay and see how it plays out, but yeah, the Ironside's definitely getting eaten up very quickly. Some of the Spearmen holding up okay. Grundle's Defenders, actually, that extra melee defense does help them out quite a bit, and also physical resistance is going to help some here. I guess not all Slaanesh units have magic damage, but yeah, Elspeth getting a Pavane here to rampage her, keep her from really doing anything super effective, and the Seekers were able to get in and get us around on that Luminarch, so decent stuff so far. Shutting down those Lord sniping tools, big priority for Joyboy here to try and let his Lord survive. But that being said, the Flagellants are trading very well against Devoted Marauders. Like, it seems like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's particularly cost-effective. The Flagellants are a bit more expensive, but they at least hold up for some time here. Yeah, the Demigryph Knights also, they're holding up okay if we take a look at their value. Still haven't paid for themselves, though, so they're definitely going to have to do a lot through this late game. But Azazel even still being shot out of the sky by the regrouped Ironsides. Elspeth is in huge trouble here. Even with the Demigryph Knights to try and support her on the ground, she really just needs to stay in the air as much as possible at this point. There's Fiends, Seekers, Furies, everything else. Not really on her side, but right now, yeah, it's looking like Fiends coming in for a rear charge on those Demis. I think Elspeth just routed there. She's going to route through her own Spears, which means she might be able to actually escape here. And doesn't have, yeah, anything besides just Breath Attack and Spirit Leech. So there you go. With Elspeth routed and a lot of these high-value units for the Empire starting to take some serious damage, Balance Power is tipping. But Zazel manages to survive the very Lord Snipey build. Again, it's not a way I personally like to play the Empire, but it is a way that you technically can play the Empire. Luminarch's still lurking here, though. Zazel's possibly going to get sniped still. But Seeker is just trying to chase Elspeth off the map here, stay right below her so she doesn't regroup. Is this thing going to hit a tree? Nope, looks like it actually does get the last blast off and snipes Zazel. Manages to, ooh, that's actually going to cause a few of these Slaanesh units here to rout. We've also got some healthy-ish spearmen. The Demigryph Knights chasing fiends here. I don't know if it's necessarily an engagement they want to take by themselves. There are fiends on both sides here, plus the Seekers coming in from the other direction, so, well, might give a momentary sort of gasp of hope to the Empire. I mean, this Luminarch is definitely aiming directly, I guess he's right past the tree. That's kind of a nice little position, but actually doesn't get the shot off because he counts as being interrupted. And, yep, the fiends get in contact there and get them down. Demigryph Knights get rushed down in the open field, and that's going to be pretty much game. The one Devoted Marauder also still just slugging it out with Flagellants here. I guess Flagellants are unbreakable, so they'll hold on a little bit longer. Soak up some more cinematics. These Devoted Marauders poking the Fanatics of Sigmar here as they make their final stand. Nasty fiends charging in the side, and Empire player will gracefully throw in the towel there. But, yeah, definitely interesting builds on both sides again. I don't know if there was maybe a little bit of desyncing in the mid-game there, or if those units were just in tactical reserve, but ended up not mattering too much. The Fiends were able to get in and do their thing. The Furies also, just massively powerful disruption. Furies are such a good unit for all factions that have access to them. And Seeker's got some mad value as well. Yeah, the Devoted Marauder is traded reasonably cost-effectively. Just nice value all around. Everyone except for Azazel, because he just gets blasted by the Luminarch, which, even between the Luminarch and Elspeth, not a lot of value there. Some of the Spearmen actually do punch up quite well, and I think that sort of demonstrates how I personally think this matchup definitely Empire favored if you go with a specific type of build. I would definitely say just Spearmen, like Free Company. Maybe you can mix in a few Flagellants here. They did okay. They actually didn't pay for themselves in terms of damage value. One of the Ironsides, I mean, I get that their DPS is really good. One of them did manage to almost pay for themselves in a very brief amount of time. But still, like I said, just more volume with Free Company. It's going to be better most of the time there. Demigryphs do pay for themselves, which is quite nice. But just since I do consider myself an Empire main, we'll finish up with this post-battle, talking a little bit more about Empire in this matchup. So, yeah, I mean, unless I'm missing something major, I don't really see the reason to bring Ironsides here, especially when you can almost go 2 for 1, not quite, but pretty close to Free Company for 1 Ironside there. So, like, in that build, you could cut, you know, maybe the chevrons from the Spearmen, or you could cut some other things to try and get the extra cost you would need to just switch the 2 Ironsides out for 4 Free Company. Huntsmen are also decent here, but I just really like Free Company for their model count. In fact, they're decent enough in melee to trade cost effectively at that cheap cost with a lot of Slaanesh's stuff and mostly just great volume of fire, especially up close. And Slaanesh is going to be rushing you down very quickly, so the range doesn't matter that much. And just having high DPS really can be the thing that matters the most. So yeah, something like that. I don't know. Definitely those Grundle's Defenders seem to do quite well, and given sort of the prevalence of like Fiends and Seekers, right, you can sort of guess that that's going to be what they're taking. You might still want to have some tools to kill heavy infantry, and certainly you can take like magic or, you know, Elspeth on the dragon. Of course, with their breath attacks and by charging down onto the ground, you can definitely get some good work in that way as well. Especially if you want to take, well, these physical resistance abilities. Decent, actually, removing magic damage. There's not a lot of other things that are going to benefit from this besides Elspeth herself. But it is something that is applicable given Slaanesh. Again, their power units are primarily demonic, so you will face magic damage in this matchup. So, yeah, there's some things to consider there. Of course, the more stuff you take on Elspeth, the more expensive she's going to get, which is going to make it harder and harder for her to pay for herself. But this Death's Timekeeper, at least for the self-heal, an extra snipe. I assume this is not banned under any rules, tournament rules. I actually haven't checked in a while, but assuming this is allowed, I would definitely go this route, just to add that little bit of extra Lord sniping as well, and then, yeah, I mean, extra 200 points for the Templehof Luminarch, probably not a bad shot, and then we'll fill out with a few Flagellants, just to keep it a little bit on brand there. And I guess the Demigryph Knight's Halberds is the last unit that he had that I would probably say was reasonably effective. So this is alright. I might still tweak this a little bit just to try and take some, maybe some Empire Knights, although Empire Knights just trade pretty badly against most Slaanesh mobility unless you get like really good engagements. But I don't know, maybe something like this. You guys will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You can certainly apply a lot of range pressure with just these two single entities, and the rest of it just kind of works defensively off of those two. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.